Hey everyone, I'm Keith Grevenitz, and welcome to another Beat Sessions review of Snarky Puppy's new release, Empire Central. I first got turned on to this group way back when with their live recording of We Like It Here. It was Lingus that really caught my attention with Corey Henry's mind bending keyboard solo. I was always impressed by bandleader and bass player Michael League, too. Assembling and organizing a band as big and ambitious as Snarky Puppy is definitely no easy task. There are a few members that tend to stick around, but this band is used to having new members and very talented ones. Very transitive band. I saw Snarky Puppy live at the Newport Jazz Festival in Newport, Rhode Island about 6 years ago now. And it was a great show. These guys really know how to perform, they're excellent musicians. Empire Central opens up with Keep It On Your Mind, a slow and funky bass line met with vibrant horns. Later in the song, we get a great keys solo and some hard drums. East Bay teases us in with a little sax and drums, has this anxious vibe that's partially resolved with horns, but then it digs into a groove with bass, drums, and horns to really settle that uneasy feeling. We get a smooth guitar solo, and then it ends on a ledge. I really liked how they did that. Bet opens a little like elevator music, but that's taken over by a nice sax solo. I get some Latin vibes here that bounce off a cool progressive jazz energy. Another slick ending on this one. Another cool tune. Clyroy opens with a loungy sound with horns and electric keys and adds a bass and some woodwinds. And then we get a cool key change that I didn't expect that integrates the original beat and brings back the opening riff. This track stays pretty minimalistic most of the time, and it's highlighted by bright sounds from horns and acoustic piano solo, and then returns an octave up with that key change again. It's fun stuff. It's fun stuff to do that. Take It is a very funky, and it has a wah wah on the synth and a mean trumpet solo. We have a main riff that we return to that is quintessential Snarky Puppy, and then a funky keys solo. Again, another fun track. Portal opens with like a pastoral sound that moves into a very melodic storytelling lead line. This lead maintains through most of the track, and I like it a lot. It's a nice touch. It's another Latin-based drum track, and we get a moment of drums only, even. I like how it ends. These songs are very succinct. They're to the point. Broken Arrow is a bit of a new agey jazz type of sound, and it likes to hang in an unresolved space. Touches of hand drum can be heard throughout this one, and it's really cool. We get our drums, a very cool bass line from Michael League, and a lovely piano solo. We're taken out by a rocking guitar section and horns. It's solid. I didn't expect some of these turns we took here, so it was nice. RLs. It opens with a rock guitar riff that's joined by the rhythm section and then some smooth sax. I like how this one is heavily guitar based. Lead guitar with a really nicely balanced distorted sound and a rock like solo line. Of course, we get some horns for a minute, but it's mostly guitars carrying this one, which, as a guitar player, I really liked. The guitar kind of makes this one bend genres a little bit. The breakdown is worth the wait. The riff is badass. Check that song out. Mean Green is funky AF. This is a funk jazz song for sure. There's some picking on the guitar, some wah, some funky drums, and some wonky wah synth. Very chill track. Fuel City opens as like a concept track, a dreamy and curious riff that plays up from a lower volume, then picks up into an ominous sound with lots of reverb. I like it. It's like music that would play in Bowser's Castle, if you can get that Nintendo reference. It's a nice short one. Pretty cool. Freefall uses a cool syncopated stoppy sound to start, and it rides this way for a bit. And then it throws in some sweet chimes in a lead with some lead section additions. We get a cool key change around 3 minutes, which is always a neat dynamic. Again, Belmont is slow and super ambient, and I love it right away. I wonder if they can stay in that slow tempo. I feel like they owe it to themselves to explore staying slow for once. We only get a minor pickup here before returning to its meandering pace. It stays in this cool groove, and then we get a sweet violin solo. I love me some strings. Nice touch. Pineapple is a quick, funky jazz fusion track, but I feel like it lacks personality I'd expect from Snarky Puppy. Don't get me wrong, there's a hot sax solo, but this one is a little stale for Snarky Puppy for me. It's a little too standard jazzy. Honiara is a funky yet kind of slow track. Snarky Puppy does a great job of having lots of instruments and lots of members at work here. They seem to be going back to their roots with this album. Coney Bear, it starts with a honky tonk guitar sound that moves in and out of a marimba, withdrawing to a fat, spacey sound. It's a neat juxtaposing, and this album has a big Latin feel for it. It's in there throughout the whole fucking album. Trinity, the final track, is a cool, spacey sound with heavy reverb, but it also has an undeniable film noir sound. I feel like its detective is going to say Dame at any second. Electric guitar modernizes the sound of this track a little. We get a build up at around 5 minutes, and then this like futuristic synth sound that really made this track stand out. So that's it, guys. But Snarky Puppy is one of the most raw talent bands you can listen to. They make jazz accessible to people that probably don't listen to jazz. I'd give this album a vinyl please and a 7 on the volume scale. I personally like their more experimental sounds, and this album seems to go back to the basics a little, but it's still a great listen. Check this album out and comment your thoughts. Like and subscribe if you haven't. I'm Keith Grevenitz with the Beat Sessions, and thanks everyone. Have a jazzy day.